thank you all so much for tuning in to the PHNX Coyotes podcast. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and leave us a 5-star review. I'm Leah here with Petey and Craig and Sean as usual, and we are joined by a very special guest live in studio, former Arizona Coyotes defenseman Jason Demers. Jason, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for joining us.
I don't quite know where to if I look.
You can look at us. You can look at the camera, whatever you want.
I'm going to start off
the fans,
with the Watts right away. Because the Watts is saying, good dude, funny, should be a broadcaster or something. Just not here. Not on PHNX.
This is his audition.
See that chair over there?
Yeah, no.
I kind of
we're
envisioning you at some point soon. So.
I kind of thought that this would be like an interview for me. Depends how much you pay.
I don't know where you got that idea, Jason.
I'm not looking to take any job.
No, I was thinking that on the way in. That you would be very good at this.
Yeah, agreed.
Not this, but where
Yeah,
professional players
trying
go.
to protect his job.
I've been kicking around. I've kicked some things to the NHL Network and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
And yeah, just trying to see, maybe do some podcasting stuff, different things, and just
So
you look good. You left your teeth at home
I
today.
mean, I look great. I was looking at myself and now
I was pretty happy you left the teeth at home today. Actually,
well, funny story. We were at a wedding. And I had my teeth in, and I was like, I got to really start wearing them a lot. So I have them in, and of course, as soon as I say I'm going to start wearing them a lot, they break.
Oh.
And then we're overseas, so I'm like, well, at this point, somebody doesn't want me to be wearing these teeth. So I'm like,
yeah, the hell with it.
But I got a dentist appointment tomorrow, so it looks like we might be
back in business.
might be filling the hole. Yeah,
I'd go with it. It's a look.
It matches the personality somewhat. So yeah.
Well, we got to ask you, just how you doing, man? What
Great.
have you been up to?
I've just been we joke, me and my girlfriend joke all the time that we're the busiest unemployed people. So we just been kind of traveling around. We sold our house here, then we bought another one, so we're kind of renovating that.
Okay.
And,
Here in the valley?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, we love it here in Flagstaff and that area. So we're kind of kicking around the area, and we've just been kind of we've been on East Coast tour, seeing family and all that. So, but everything's been great. It's been summer flies by when you're not worrying about training for a season or anything like that.
Well, that's a good segue, because I got to ask you right off the hop, because everybody's wondering what's next for you. Do you intend to play? Whether you've been all over the world recently, we can talk about that in a minute. Whether it's the AHL, Finland, Moscow, Switzerland, which you loved while you were there for a little while.
Yeah.
What's your plan?
I mean, honestly, I say I'm 95%. Retired 5%. I stay in shape. I still work out every day and skate and all that. So it's if something comes up, I'm definitely gonna consider it. I mean, I'm not gonna go beg for my supper, in the sense of I don't know if I can. I did the PTO last year, and I don't know if I want to go through that again. I kind of, there's enough tape on me to know that potentially I can play, and for me to go to maybe be on a two-way or something like that isn't really what I'm looking for at this stage of my career. So, and then we kicked around the Europe idea, and I've been there. I was in Russia, and I've been in Finland, and it's one of those things that maybe come 2 months, I'm like, yeah, let's do it. That's why I kind of keep myself in shape. But right now I'm just kind of throwing around, doing a million different things and seeing kind of what interests me, and along with hockey and all that.
What drove, the last couple of years, it just felt like you just wanted to be in the game. It felt like a love of the game kind of thing, because you were in Kazan, you were in Bakersfield.
Yeah.
You went to places that wouldn't necessarily be thought of as hockey stops, but you stuck it through. What was driving all that?
I mean, we kind of touched on it a little bit at the start. It was there's a lot of unfinished business in my last year here in Arizona with the 699, and I mean, to the outside, you can, and guys I talk to within the league, a lot of guys it doesn't matter, you had a great career. But for me, it was kind of you always want to go out on your own accord. And I mean, I was just at the UFC fights, and I got to watch Robbie Lawler just retired. He went out 41 his last fight, went out by a knockout. He kind of got to go out his own way. And I mean, I kind of felt like on 699, I was in San Jose. It had been a really tough couple of years, and I was kind of wasn't sure what was next. So in my head, I was like, you know what? I was like, if this is where it's going to end, it's going to end. And it didn't end there. So it was a kind of just a cloud hanging over for a year. And then I trained that whole summer to come back. I had some good, I didn't really have anything cooking. There wasn't anybody banging on the door, but I was kind of ready to go for a PTO. And, you know, guys always say they're in their best shape every summer, but I was probably in the best shape I've been. I cleaned up a lot of stuff and looked in the mirror, and like probably 2 weeks before training camp, I blew my back out, just not even working out, just doing seeing friends, and I went to hug somebody, and it just was the wrong movement, just oddly enough, and blew my back out. And it was about 2 weeks before camp, and then I switched my agent 2 days later because I hadn't really got a phone call or anything, and we were kind of going back and forth. And then quite literally, I was getting surgery like I think September 4th of like 2 years ago. So like a week or so before training camp, because I kind of lost all feeling in my leg. I had a disc that went onto my nerve. So I couldn't walk on my left leg, and I thought I was pretty much going to be done, but I didn't want to tell anybody.
Yeah.
Because I was like, then I'll never get a chance if eventually come back, or even in Europe. So I went and got surgery in the Valley by myself, went to Philly, did rehab by myself, was skating at Oceanside and playing in men's league games. And then that's when I think we talked a couple months when I got the call for the Olympics. They kind of called me to be a backup and asked if I was like healthy. And I was probably like,
close enough,
70%.
Yeah.
But I was like, all right,
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. I was like, yeah, I'm coming. And, you know, it was Donor, and I thank Donor and Blair Mackesy big time, because I wasn't quite sure what I was doing. I was considering if I was ever going to play again and this and that. And so I went over. They said, go get some games in Russia. Well, not in Russia, but they said there's a pre-tournament. It was in Moscow. And so I went to Moscow, literally, I think it was like a week, and I got the call. Was like, asked my girlfriend, I was like, what do I do? And she said, well, you got to go. And I was like, all right. I was like testing the leg out. I was like, all right, we're going to see what happens. So hadn't practiced, hadn't played, only men's league games. So I went, it was kind of like a tryout. I went to the Moscow games. We played 3 games in 4 nights. I haven't practiced or played at one practice. We're playing. Oh no, it was, and ended up making the team. It ended up, you know, kind of grinding my way through it. And the back felt great. I did everything as well as I could have. So then I was in Moscow. I was sitting in the hotel with Eric Fair, and Eric Fair was kind of still trying to maybe play one more year. And we got a phone call from just some Russian agent, and just on my phone, I was like, hello. And he's like, you want to play Russia or no play Russia? So I was like, what? So I'm sitting there, I'm like, who's this? So I was like, I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, I'm like, okay. So I'm like texting my girlfriend on the side. I'm like, do I stay in Russia and play? Because they were kind of like, get some more games, you know, try to get a couple months, and then we'll have you, we'll see if you make the team for the Olympics as the backup team. And at that point, I kind of knew. I was like, there's no way the NHL goes, because they've been so following the whatever Fauci says and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, you know, I was assuming they're like maybe 50-50. But I was like, there's no way they're going to go. So it's probably my best chance to be an Olympian. So I ended up taking some deal in Kazan. And I was sitting with Fairzy, and then Fairzy's like, can I come? So I was like, you got room for Eric Fair? And Eric, insane. So they were like, Eric, you play Russia or no play Russia? So he's like, I'll play. So he's like calling his wife. He's got kids at home.
Oh no!
And
this is how deals get done. Yeah.
His wife thinks he's coming home, and he's like, honey, I'm going
Stay in
to
Russia.
Kazan. Yeah. So I know you need a lot of tape for this. It's a long 2 years. So we ended up having it, because you get a visa for however long you're in Russia, and then once it's done, you got to get out. So they, you know, we get booted out. So we're waiting in Zurich, Switzerland for probably a week,
which doesn't suck. Yeah.
Which doesn't suck, but like we're sitting there like training and like, you know, staying in shape, and we're like, what do we do? Like we're like, where do we skate? So we ended up like skating with Andrew Ebbett's GM in Bern. So we like messaged him like, hey, can we come out to Bern and skate? We'll take a train today. So he's like, yeah, sure, we'll get you ice. We went and skated in Bern with Andrew Ebbett.
That's awesome.
And then we had to go to like the Russian consulate in Bern, and go to the Russian consulate, get all of our. We got probably the fastest visa that's ever been done. I don't know how they got it, but we ended up in Russia. We had we were supposed to play 12 games, played 5 games. They shut the league down for COVID
Oh
because
my
they didn't
gosh.
want guys getting testing positive for before they went to the Olympics, like a week before.
Yeah.
So then we had to come back to Switzerland and Zurich. So, but at that point, I'd played 5 games. We won all 5. It was like, I was kind of feeling, I was finally kind of back to where I felt good. So, I was also being like trying to showcase to potentially, because, usually in Europe at the March deadline, you can come back in the league. So I was like hoping I could maybe sneak in for a playoff run. So they called me for the Olympics. And we did the whole thing in Davos, and then we went over to Beijing, and we disappointing finish, but I felt it went well. But then I ended up going back to the playoffs for Kazan, and we played the playoffs. The war started. It was I was getting yelled at by
No big deal.
people. It was
Yeah,
like,
get the hell out.
What?
Yeah.
But I mean, it was
Insane
like
2 years, dude. What
Yeah.
an insane 2 years.
yeah. So then the war started. We were assured we were completely safe. They're paying you to do a job. Nobody wants fighting on either side. So it's like, we're just kind of sitting there like, what do we do? We're in the playoffs. You're with these guys that you've been with for like a month now. They're such a great group of guys, and the organization was great. So you're like, as a hockey player, you're like, you finish the job, you're getting paid. You're just there to work. So it's like, you're not,
Right.
you just kind of have your head down. And I mean, luckily enough, there's guys that went back this past year too. So, but it all like worked out. We flew back, and then it was like, as soon as I landed, I think it was April.
Mhm.
And I started training right away. Like I said, I'm not going to take any time off because it was like, now's the chance to get back, because I kind of came out healthy, and I was like, I kind of took it as like my training camp to get ready for this year. And then, I trained all summer, called as many teams as I could. No one answered, like people answered, but no one was willing to give a PTO. And I basically had to call up Jay Woodcroft and like beg him for a PTO.
Who
And
you'd work for or with in San Jose?
I was with him. Sorry, Jay Woodcroft was my assistant coach, video coach when I started in San Jose, and he's had a great career as a coach, and credit to him for picking up my phone call. And I basically just begged him for a PTO chance, and then it went on a PTO. Went to Edmonton. I thought I did enough to kind of stay with the team, but they had some cap issues, so ended up taking on more of a mentorship role by going down to the A. And also in mind, I was like, I gotta make it back up.
Yeah.
So PTO, they kept me on the PTO till about as long as you possibly could. I stayed in a hotel for over 200 nights
Jeez.
Wow.
because they didn't want to get a place. And then wasn't sure it was going to happen, honestly. And funny enough, it was like we were playing in San Jose we were playing the Barracuda, and literally, I think I saw Dan Boyle was in the crowd, because every time I'd play the Barracuda, I'd be seeing like Joe Thornton, Tom Holy, who's now the assistant GM. I'd see Tommy Wingles, Mike, all these guys they played with. So you're like sitting there, and you're like kind of like, how do I feel about this?
Yeah.
That I'm grinding it out. But it was great. It was a good experience. It was good to kind of be in the mentorship side and worry more about that. And then got the call with like 3 games left.
Who makes that call?
It was Keith Gretzky called me.
And I want to just, for people that don't know, before all this, you had 799 career NHL. 699 career.
Fuck, I wish I-
And you,
sorry.
and you
can
sat
swear,
on that
it's
for
all
I can?
Yep.
yeah, you can swear. We're fine. So 699, and you needed that one more game. And so this is the 2 years that you just took us through was to get to 700.
Yeah. And all the while not really knowing, they did tell me we're going to give it to you. But I mean, in my history in the past,
That doesn't mean
my whole
shit.
career,
That doesn't mean anything until you do it.
I've been told many things that never came to fruition. So, I ended up, they gave me the call probably their last 3 games of the season. And I mean, it was probably one of the greatest phone calls they got.
Yeah.
Over
Who did you play?
San Jose, in San Jose.
Oh, in San Jose.
No way.
That's awesome. So it's a completely fitting storybook end of that heart.
Yeah.
Like if you talk about a movie, the first that first little bit's like Mission Impossible. You're crossing borders and getting visas, and then it ends up with like the Mighty Ducks, where you get to actually, like you win and get a happy ending. It is fitting that it happened in San Jose.
Well, it was like,
it really is fitting.
the whole thing was very cathartic and like it was a good full circle.
Yeah.
I wish it was shorter, but like I got to drive up from Bakersfield to meet the team in Anaheim. We had a practice in Anaheim, and Anaheim was kind of where the coach of the Coyotes told me that it was like 12 games left in that COVID year. It's just wild. You start replaying everything, and he basically told me, we're going to go with the young guys. You're not going to play the rest of the season, or maybe you'll get in if somebody gets hurt.
And that's you at 699.
And that was like 12 games left. So, and I think at that point I was at like 697.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I'll get to 3. And then I was like, okay, there's, 10 games, there's 9 games, there's 8. And then there was 3 games left. And I asked to get the last 3, and, it didn't pan out that way. And then we went to San Jose, that's where they told me I wasn't going to get 700. We were staying in the same hotel. Yeah. It was like a crazy, like wild
roller coaster
full
ride.
circle. Yeah.
And again, I'm filling in blanks here. You were drafted by the San Jose Sharks
to
start the beginning of your career, and now you're playing 700 in San Jose. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, but it was like I had my whole family there.
Very fitting.
I played for free and then owed some money for sure because there's a lot of flights booked.
A lot of flights and tickets
and hotels.
Yeah.
And tickets. Oh, yeah, everything. So I didn't look at the bill. But, yeah, they came in. My niece came in. She'd never seen me play, so it was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, my girlfriend, her family. And then, then the minute the game was over, I was, standing in the parking lot and going back down to Bakersfield. So, but it was a good time. I mean, they... credit to San Jose, they gave me a shout out on the Jumbotron, and the building was full because it was the last game of their season, so it was like a nice pop. So it was cool. It was great. I mean, couldn't ask. I kind of said it, if this is the way it ends, and it ends this way. I mean, it's great.
When you look back at all this, and there were opportunities, and I'm sure there were dark days and frustrating days and bitter and angry. I'm sure there were. When you get that 700th game in San Jose and you're walking out with your family and friends, is there a weight off your shoulders? Does it make it all that bullshit worthwhile?
It does. And it wasn't even, I mean, that moment was so great to go on the ice and see my family. But I mean, the moment when I got the phone call was probably the most.
Yeah.
We were in Bakersfield, and it was like, I mean, I don't think you kind of see people when they have those like fits of crying where they like can't stand, and you're like, how does that happen? Like, but it was one of those things I couldn't get up. It was like crazy. So it was amazing. And that was kind of the big moment for me. And then obviously everything off was a capper. Yeah. And obviously I got to see Connor hit that record, and then I got to watch those guys play, and it was I got to let Thomas Hertl score a goal, but I made a turnover right away. It was like second pizza. Yeah. I was like, oh, here we go. And I was like, well, that was kind of the best part of it, because that happened, and I was able to like get to the bench and be like, all right, because I was kind of like this is so fun, like And then I was like, oh, it's shit, you're playing, like, let's go.
Yeah.
So. And it was also like I was trying to show that I could still play up there. And, I mean, the game went well. And then we won 6-1. And I was
MBD,
-1.
Some things don't change.
Some things don't.
No, but that's why you're talking about this year. Like, you're still a right-handed defenseman that can still play, that knows the game, and you're an experienced guy. You've been through a lot. And if there are teams that are, and I hate to say, rebuilding, or have young guys that need some guy to go, okay, this is how you become a pro, and this are things you need to do to prepare, and seeing guys and helping them. You did it in Bakersfield. And if that comes again and you get that phone call saying, hey, you know what? We got a little bit of cap space. We got a little bit of room. We can't pay a whole ton. We'll give you a 1-year deal. Come out and help our guys find their path. That's the kind of thing you're looking for. Yeah.
I mean, I found I've always got along really well with the young guys and able to talk to them. Listen, on the outside perspective looking in, I've always had the reputation of being a good time guy. I'm joking around the rink and not serious. I've always had those knocks on me, but I have great conversations one-on-one with guys, and I've had a knack for kind of connecting with the younger guys the older I've gotten, and also I've kind of pitched it as like I've seen every situation in the NHL, AHL, and Europe. I know where guys can go. I know where guys should maybe look more towards, where they should lean towards, where their strengths, where their weakness. Because I've been there. I've been the guy that, I mean, and you saw it, even in my time in Phoenix, I was the top guy. I was not the top guy. I was the guy the coach hated. I was the guy that the coach liked. I was the guy that the GM liked. I was the guy that the GM hated. So it's like I found ways to navigate in terms of what they don't like to see and what they do. Not saying to tell guys to ever. I think you should always be your authentic self. That's what I always was. But just helping guys navigate it. You know, you're never taught when you're coming to the league. The two things you're not taught when you come into the NHL is how to be a pro, because you have to learn from a guy, but you're never taken and shown. And then how to end your career, because it's when it's over, and you're kind of left to your own devices. And it's like, you have to figure this out. And I don't know how many guys was always good for that. Like I was always fine. Like when I retired, I'm going to be good. It's good. There's a lot of guys that don't have that. So, and they struggle. And it's like, because you're just taught to be, that's your singular thing, is just to be a NHL hockey player. And this is what you got to do, because this is how you make the money. And you do need to be that way, because the best players are like that. But the bubble guys that are like that then it's over for them. I mean, then they're kind of left struggling. So it's always something good. It's something I learned on the go. And I had kind of like a de facto retirement when I didn't get $6.99. I blew my back up, because I'm like, is this it? So I had like a whole summer to sit there and really think about it and kind of let it mull over. And even leading up to going to play in the Olympics, like I didn't know what I was going to do after that Olympics. So it was like, to me, and we talked to Craig on the phone, and he was like, "You doing good?" I was like, "I don't know yet," because it's like you're kind of still like figuring out. You're like, "I'm good," but it's like, so it's all that life stuff. But I mean, I wouldn't trade it, because he gave me a lot of perspective on a million other things, and made me kind of go through the whole. It's like the 12 steps of anger and depression, and a lot of anger, and then acceptance, and then some more anger, and then. But yeah, so it's good. I feel in a great place, and whatever's gonna come, it's gonna be good for me. So
awesome. Well, there's so much to get to still. This has been amazing so far. We do have a super chat from one of our listeners, Mike.
$20.
Yeah, said, Jason, my grandson is a big fan of yours and was bummed when you left the Yotes. He's playing as a first-year squirt at Arcadia with the Vosha Titans. He said, you should stop by if you have some time. He'll be there all day.
There you go.
Thanks, Mike.
Sorry, Mike.
Appreciate the super chat.
Over to Vosha.
Yeah,
and Vosha.
Over at Arcadia.
And the $100 deal from his last year here still stands if he remembers.
Regarding a certain Boston player.
I have no
idea if you know
means.
what that's about. But
deal from last year still stands if he remembers. I don't know.
All right. Maybe, Mike, you can elaborate a little bit more.
It's been a long 2 years, Mike. It's been a long 2 years.
All right. Well, we have a lot more to get into, but before we move on, the home run derby, I believe, is today, right, Sean? Give me a nod. Yeah. So you can actually bet on it, correct?
Yeah, Sean was working his bets before.
Yeah, on BetMGM. So if you're interested in betting on the MLB All-Star Game, you can do so on BetMGM. You can also play the Swing for the Fences game. So every day you log into the app and you can play a little mini game, Swing for the Fences. You choose one of 4 quadrants and you can win some boosts on BetMGM. So if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use the bonus code PHNX. There's a few different offers depending on where you live, but for our Arizona audience, place your first bet offer and receive up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if it loses with BetMGM. Again, make sure you use the bonus code PHNX. You can check out the show notes for full details, and now listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Disclaimer, 21 plus to wager. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in Washington, D.C., Mississippi, Nevada, New York, and Ontario. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369, New York. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, Arizona. 1-800-522-4700, Kansas, Nevada. 1-800-327-5050, Massachusetts. 1-800-BETS-OFF, Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help, Michigan.
Awesome.
I like BetMGM.
So. Yeah. We also love Circle K here at PHNX. They're one of our sponsors, but we love them because they're all over the country. Super reliable. We love Polar Pops, especially when it's 115 degrees outside. So next time you stop at Circle to fill up, go inside, grab a Polar Pop, try the Circle K branded snacks. They're actually so good. And just make sure you're not missing out on all this great stuff. Right now, you can text PHNX to 31310 to join their SMS subscriber club and get a buy one, get one free offer on 32-ounce Polar Pops. Head to circlek.com/store-locator to find Circle K's near you. Oh, Sean is
Are you on the pump
finally
now?
on the pump.
Are you on the pump now?
Okay.
Oh,
is
so
he.
Leah's on the pump when you get gas. Like they talk.
You know, like when you do it and it's like a little
On the
video
TV?
plays.
Yeah.
So we all filmed them, and
But when you say we all, you
no,
did.
we all filmed
Buddy,
them.
They didn't want
Most of us filmed
Okay.
them, not PD
Not
and
we
Craig.
all.
You're not in the pump yet.
Yeah.
Right.
No, probably won't be
like
everybody.
for 2 months.
I don't want any
It
part
was
of
The
me.
only people that were seen were me and our host of our D-back
Baseball.
show for months, and everyone was like, "What the hell?" We all filmed it, so now Sean is getting
Sean, you're at the pump.
his time in the sun.
Fire.
So I'm happy for Sean. And if
Yeah.
you see Sean on a pump,
Congrats, Sean.
tweet at us. Yeah,
I'm a UFC guy too. I like it. My guy.
Oh boy.
My guy.
All right. Well, I want to go rewind a little bit and talk more about your time in Arizona. You know, this is the PHNX Coyotes podcast, so we just want to know, like, how would you look back on your time in Arizona, and how would you describe your time here?
Ups and downs. But I mean, obviously great. Like, cause I always say I learned a lot about myself and had a lot of injury issues that I had to battle through, like health stuff too. So, it was all, you know, if I look back now, I don't ever like to regret anything in my life. So it happened for a reason. And it was all great things. I mean, we had some good teams. We got to the playoffs and didn't call it the COVID year, but we got to the playoffs and we won a round. So that was something, you know, we're the wounded desert dogs. And, you know, with not much funding and not much help, we kind of banded together. And I thought we created things that I've heard since I've left is the guys have still always been great when I talk to the guys that work with the team, and they don't quit. And I think that's something we kind of, I can say that we're kind of part of the group that at least instill that. Listen, you got to still win games, but I mean that's an issue for people above them. I think the guys do what they can with what they have, and they play as hard as they can, and they do what they're asked of without complaining. I mean, the only thing we've heard in 5-6 years is Cal's asking for more players, and I think they told him to play better, and he went and had a great year and came back from injury. So I mean, I think if you talk to those top guys, they know. I mean, those guys are in their prime, and they want players to help them. So I think it's great. It's you can dive in deep into that one too. But no, my time was great, and we can also dive into more in the Coyotes after. But for me personally, it was great, and I always keep an eye on Arizona, and I hold it close to my heart. I mean, there in San Jose are probably those my 2 longest tenures with teams. So it's the 2 places I hold, you know, near and dear, and a lot of friendships I have from here that I will always have, and same with San Jose. So it's I love it here. I'm still living here, so I love it here.
Yeah. Well, I want to stick on Arizona for a little, and
Yep.
you know, obviously we just saw the arena situation happen where the Tempe vote failed, and now, you know, kind of, I guess they're looking for a home. And you know, as somebody who lived here, who played here, who's still friends with people related to the organization, I'm just curious. You know, we like asking people their thoughts on hockey in Arizona, and you know, there's a lot of outside noise about the team here, and you know, people calling for relocation, but I'm just curious from your perspective as someone who's played here and lives here, like your just thoughts on hockey in Arizona.
I mean, Craig's got a lot of text messages from me where it's just like an absolute brain dump where I'm just like fuming. So I try to like curate it a little bit better, but no, I mean, obviously the arena deal in Glendale, I think early on when that happened, they were trying to get cheaper land, thinking it would develop, didn't work out. I mean, I think there's a consensus. If you ask everybody in Arizona, I mean, Scottsdale or within a 10-mile radius of there is where it should be, East Valley. There's no other reason why it shouldn't be there. You know, you can chalk it up to certain owners buying it where they shouldn't have been allowed by the league to buy it because 1, their funding wasn't there, or 2, they just weren't serious about moving it. We cut a lot of corners. In terms of great people, there's been a lot of great people within the organization that should have been there, and we're building the organization in the right way, but because of lack of paying or not wanting to pay them, they've left and went somewhere else and have now done great. You know, you as well. So
Thanks, Jason. Thanks, buddy.
So I think there's a focus on the wrong things. And then now, you get a new GM comes in and a new ownership, and whether they're trying to do the right thing. I mean, I think we talked about it with the Tempe deal. I mean, they didn't put much money into marketing. And you can say what you want and say you had a great plan in place, but I'm a firm believer that in anything in life, like marketing is anything with business, marketing is one of the biggest things. I mean, that's how you get the word out. That's how you get people to come vote. And, they left it up to, it wasn't explained, I don't think, properly enough to the people in Tempe. Yep. So then they just said, no, it's going to be noisy and it's going to infringe on certain
And the other
things.
side hired professionals. The other side knew what it was doing in
and
the
they,
campaign.
they hired it. Of course they did, because they wanted to. That's where I'm like, did they want to win it? Or is it more of a posturing thing of like, we're just kind of, we're showing that we're doing all the work to maybe interest buyers? I don't know. That's where my head goes. But I just think that the city, we've seen that the city rallies around the team and can rally around the team. But I mean, when you kind of not give the full potential of what it could be to a city, eventually they're going to walk away. I mean, Arizona there's a lot of things to do here. If you look at the Suns and you look at you put a good product and you consistently try to win, people are going to come and people are going to support, and you make it fun. And I just don't think they've missed a couple points on that. And I just think it started to snowball over time. I still think it can work here. There needs to be serious people running it. I think there needs to be, anytime you see one of the greatest, probably the greatest player of the franchise be part of the organization, and then whether he's leaving to take a better job, I mean, why wouldn't he have that? He should have that job here. If you talk to a lot of ex-players here, they all wonder why that they're not asked on more to help out or be given insight, because if you look at the trend happening around the league right now, a lot of the winning organizations have a lot of ex-players there, and the door is always open for them, whether it's scouting, whether it's advising, and call it what you will. Maybe, I don't know if guys, but there's a lot of guys that live in this valley that played here. Yeah. There is a lot, and it's the number would stagger people, whether it's in Flagstaff, how many guys actually want to stay here. And I mean, you look at, I played in the men's league games with the Coyotes alumni. There's a lot of ex-Coyotes there that are all doing stuff that all have 2 cents on and good ideas for what could happen. And it's I don't know if it's ego or it's maybe they just don't know the guys are here, but I think it's here. And somebody like Donor to have to leave, people might not have seen that as like a big thing, but to me, like, watching the whole thing and being here when he was here, like, I don't think that should be allowed to happen. I think he should still be here. He shouldn't be in Toronto. So
yeah, we've had those thoughts here too. Yeah, and we had a whole show on it talking about it's hard when you look back over this organization for 20 years, and once you're behind the curtain and see some of the things that happened throughout that 20 years. There are some things that are hard to digest, and that's one we're going to look back over time and not quite sure how that all fell apart. But good news is, I still believe he'll come back at some point. I think Shane Doan will be back here in the Valley.
Yeah, I do. I mean, he's got such strong ties here. His son's here.
He's still an Arizona guy. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean, he's
got his horses.
He's got his ranch up there. I mean, he's a great guy. I love Donor too. So it's like there's just. And he'll never, what's great about Donor is he won't sit and vent. And, he went to Toronto, he didn't say a word. He did his thing. Yep. But if you were to get him behind closed doors, I'm sure you'd get a lot of info on potentially other stuff. So, I mean, I think that's a big thing. That's just in my perspective, I've just seen a lot of teams recently that have started bringing in ex-players, and it's kind of turned around the franchise because, we've been there, we've seen it, and when now the Donor's gone, there's maybe 2 NHL games of experience within the organization. I mean, I don't know. It might work, and I hope it does. We have a lot of draft picks. I mean, but it's hard to develop those draft picks when you have people talking to those kids that haven't played NHL games and developing them. Those kids are coming into this organization and they're being told this is what it takes to win, this is what it takes to be a pro, but yet these guys haven't played, so it's like
I mean, in fairness to
them
them in the development staff, I mean, I love the addition of Lee Stepniak. I think he's a really good voice.
Yeah, he's here
room,
too, which is good. That's good.
So
okay.
they're trying in those areas, but at the same time, I understand what you're saying in terms of. I've always wondered about sort of alumni relations within this organization.
Yeah,
I've
that's
never
where I'm
thought
more going towards.
Never thought it's been strong. In this organization.
That's more what I'm leaning towards. Is I always wish that just looking that there would be more alumni around. But no, they have a ton of great prospects. I think there's something there.
Yeah.
And it's just going to take developing. Now, developing is what needs to happen. But how long do you give these kids a chance? Because it's the issue when you're relying on draft picks, and there's so many of them, is that how much time do you give to every guy and how much chance do you give to every guy? I mean, if you just give 5-6 games to every guy once we're out of the playoffs and we don't make the playoffs, I mean, is that enough to develop, or do you have to let? Because if you look at a guy like Barrett Hayton, I mean, they gave him those games and we weren't winning, but he had a great end of the last year, and hopefully he keeps it going because he's a good player and he's but it took him a while to find his way. But if you're on a good team, if you're on a Tampa Bay, are you going to get those chances? No. So you can't give guys 5-6 games at the end of the year when you're just trying to get guys up from Tucson. You got to pick your roster of who you think is going to be your top prospects, and you got to give them a look for at least a couple of years. So, but then if they do well, do you trade them? So
they'll have a lot of assets. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. Because all those draft picks can't play.
They can't all.
It's just too many guys.
You brought in some veteran guys, but then I have a feeling he's bringing those veteran guys, and those are trade bait for more draft picks.
Yeah, they could be.
But then now it's the cycle we're doing. It's guys that are in for 4 or 5 months that are here to get traded to a contender. So they're all great guys, and they want to win. So they can teach guys some things, but then they're gone, and then it's you're back to the same thing. So, and then do guys want to stay? And then you lose a big piece like Fish, who had that culture.
Sure did.
Who wanted to be a Coyote and wants to win here. It's there's so many things, and you can sit and beat it up for hours. But I just think the alumni is a big thing, and I hope developing is what they get around to, and they truly take a good, not just developing on ice, but developing guys off the ice as well, and even in Tucson. So because I played against them all year and was in Tucson, and they had some good moments, and they didn't make the playoffs though in the A either. Or they made we made the buy-in. Yeah,
they were in.
But that division's very hard. So it's like that division is, you have extra teams, and you go into these like buy-in, this play-in. So it's tough because now these kids in the A are not getting playoff time either. They're getting 2 games.
Let's talk about the A, actually, because you played with a guy. You're supposed to give him a shout out, by the way, Kesselring.
Yeah,
so he was demanding a shootout.
He's demanding.
Also wants to know why he should be rated the Coyotes' top D prospect. But I'll ask you for your thoughts. Because speaking of mentorship,
I read that list, and I was going to say, I was like, oh, okay.
Mentorship, though, you played that role while you're in Bakersfield. Obviously, now he's down in Tucson, obviously looking for a crack himself. You got to know Michael Kesselring a little bit, though.
Yeah, we got to play together in Bakersfield, and I molded him, and then he gets traded. They get a nice return on him, and then he plays some games here, and I thought he played I think he was learning the game a little bit the first couple, and then I thought he played well. I don't think he showed everything he can do, which I think he will.
But he's working hard right now. I saw him here. He's planning on staying here a lot this summer to develop that game. It's a guy they went after. They like him.
I'm just saying he's got the tools, and he's got he's got the mental side of it in terms of he wants it so bad. That for a young kid like that, that's what you want to see. Like there's not much arrogance. Like he knows where he's got to get to, so he's willing to work and listen. And I mean, I could have came down and he could have been like, I could have been telling him things in Bakersfield. And he'd be like, I'm not listening to this
guy
dinosaur that, he's obviously got more skill than I ever had already. So it's like, he could have been like, I don't need to learn, but he wanted to refine the parts of his game, the defensive side. And I told him, I was like, the way to establish yourself, because I was like, there's not going to be much PP time around here.
Yeah.
So I was like, you got to get in on the PK or defensive side. That'll get you more reps, because when you get on the defensive side, coaches trust you more, and then you get some extra reps, and then you add the offense, especially for young guys, because most young guys come in now and they're so highly skilled, and they have that one pop scoring, but they never developed the D side. So then eventually, if you look at a guy like, Soda's never really cracked it here. He's got amazing offensive talent, but he should have really refined his defensive side and kept working on that. And obviously that's what's going to make you your money, is the power play and scoring goals. But to get those opportunities, and you need to be trusted. You
can't be a liability. And I think they're looking at the same thing from Dursey right now too. It's another guy who's offensively shown it, but he's going to have to get better on the other side of the puck.
I'm interested to see. I texted Kels. I heard he's a good guy. I asked some guys in LA. I don't know that take it with a grain of salt, because that system that they play in LA is very protective of defensemen.
Yeah.
And it protects you and it shields you a little bit. So you look like you're making good plays, but that system allows you to get time with the puck, which most systems don't have. They play a lot more defensive style. So and Coyotes don't play that way. So
yeah.
I'm interested to see.
They do not.
No, I'm interested to see. So they do move the puck really well, and when they're in the O-zone, they make great plays. I thought they've really kind of started to chip away at an identity. But I'm interested to see how he kind of fits in. So
yeah.
But no, Kesselring's a guy I would put up that he's got a great shot. I don't think he used it enough when he was up here. I think he was kind of, credited to the young man's mentality. When you come up, you're trying to dish to guys and get it to the top guys. But I think when it comes together for him, I mean, they brought him here for a reason, and probably because he was playing with me, but they wanted to get him away from me.
Speaking of relations, before we go to another ad break,
great kid, love him though.
How much do you stay in touch with Richie? Do you guys still go camping?
I love Rich.
Camping?
Yeah.
Like really?
Like really?
Real
we
camping?
love it. Yeah, we love getting up and so we did we've done like a couple. We rent those like boho camper vans. It's a great company.
Glamping.
Great
glamping. A little more
it's a great company in the valley. Boho camper vans.
Look at you.
There you go.
Good ass.
Yeah.
Check.
So
he's still here.
Yeah, we're both here. Like it's another guy.
Didn't know he was here.
Yeah. He's here. He's been here. I talked to him. We go golf. He's literally in Flag. We both have places in Flagstaff and here. we're out here every day. He lives. We both live 15 minutes from the practice rink. So it's like it's funny when it's you're that close, and especially Rich. I mean, I can say I've had a great career, but I mean, Rich he's got cups. He's got he was in LA. He's been in multiple organizations, and he's that kind of hard nosed guy that I think he was kind of taking a year off to see what he wanted to do, but I've been kind of pushing him to get in. I think he'd make a great.
I mean, I think both your personalities you put in the room, those guys aren't there anymore. Like Richie's a guy that could sit there and tell another player to F off. Like, let's F and go, right? I think you did it in a different way. You could still say it. You didn't say it like Richie. Like it was a different way.
Yeah, it would be more.
But that whole veteran NHL hockey guys, they're not. It's not like that anymore. It's hey, let's take a protein drink and let's play video games. I don't know. It's just not that anymore. Where you have old school hockey guys in the room.
He was
anymore.
blunt. He was honest.
Richie,
loved that about him. Loved how candid he is.
But the thing I go with that is I learned a lot about it this year being in the A, and I mean it's changing. The league's always going to change, and it's a copycat league. So all the top guys coming in the league now, they're all those young kids. Those kind of those video game playing just, happy. They're more happy-go-lucky, I find, than when I came in, and it was all these gritty, gruff guys that you go have beers after practice, and that's what you do, and you come hungover to the rink, and but you play as hard as you're going to play.
Play honest.
And you're going to play with broken shoulder, torn knee, like you're just playing. And now it's a little bit more tailored. These kids take very good care of themselves for the most part. They try to. But it's more it's just different. It's just a different culture. But yeah, like the teams that are winning have these old vets that are still kicking around there. The Vegas. Look at Vegas's backing. I mean, that's an old. And then what happens is your young guys that are up, that come up, they get filled into the roles. They learn, and then that's what you hope, that when they're gone. The older guys are gone, then the young guys come in and they take the mantle and they know what to call it. That's about building a winning culture. It's you come in and you know what you're expecting. I mean, look at Boston. Boston losing Bergeron. I mean, Bergeron set the tone and taught all those young guys there how to do it, and now they're going to teach the next generation, and they're going to stay competitive 100%. Even I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, awesome. There's a lot of fun stuff we want to get into too. I know we've
gonna grill you in a minute.
But no, Leah's got to work.
We got
to pay our bills.
We've had some good conversations, but we do have some fun stuff on tap. Before we get to that, it does feel like it's been a while since we've been sitting here. Like, we were in Nashville, then we were at the Ice Den, we were at BetMGM, so it's nice to be sitting back in our More Furniture chairs. I know PD's back specifically.
Yeah, my back, I can't do those chairs. So the More Furniture chairs are fantastic.
How's the back? I got somebody good for you to fix my back.
Good. I'm in.
I had L5 surgery, and I'm cooking still.
And you need some more furnitures too.
Yeah, I do. I don't like this furniture, but it's all right.
We got the recliners where we watch all the games.
Where we watch the game.
Yeah, we'll have to show you
guys. This is what a setup.
Yeah, it's all furnished by More. So if you want to, if you're looking to furnish your place, your office, whatever it may be, check out More Furniture. You can head to morefurniture.com. That's MOR furniture.com to save big on the best furniture in the Valley. And also, it's Monday, and you know what that means.
I do. It's Margarita Monday.
It's Margarita Monday at Illegal Pete's. I feel like we haven't talked about Illegal Pete's on a Monday. Have you been on Mill Ave?
Oh, Mill Ave?
Yeah, it's
have to go.
It's amazing.
Food. Did you get the one in Tucson ever? Yeah.
There's one on University in Tucson also.
Illegal Pete's.
No, I didn't.
It's a bar.
It's a bar. There's food.
It's a road runner hangout.
Yeah, I think guys went there. Yeah, guys talking about it.
Yeah, it's amazing. So at Illegal Pete's locations in Arizona, this is exclusive to Arizona locations. $3 margaritas all day, every Monday. The prickly pear margarita is my personal favorite. Nothing brightens up that Monday mood more than soaking up the sun with a few margaritas. And don't forget about Taco Tuesdays. $2 tacos all day, every Tuesday. Enjoy your favorite chicken, pork, and veggie tacos for just $2. So swing by and start your week off the right way at Illegal Pete's. All right, let's kick it into the fun segment.
This is Petey's. This is Tales from the Road.
This is what I got to do? Okay. Yeah. So one of the things we do on our show is we want to take people behind the curtain. And we want to show that we actually have fun. And you mentioned it already. You're one of those guys. You like to have fun. When you play and you compete, but you also didn't get cheated on the fun side. So what we try to do is we try to give a tale from the road. We're not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. We're not doing anything risque or get anybody in trouble. Example, we had Rick Tock was on, and he said, Samuelson stole his shoes on a commercial flight, and he had to walk through the airport barefoot. That was like a tale from the road. Or some pranks that you played at a guy's when you checked into a hotel, or things that you did that you had fun.
Russia,
so can you give us a tale from the road? And one of the worst, we had Craig Simpson. Did you ever play with Craig Simpson anywhere? No, Craig Simpson. Legendary prankster for the Coyotes. The worst. Talk to Stan. Like, Stan is still angry about some of the stuff. Yeah, like
that bad?
That was the dye. Did you ever the dye? The clear dye you put in the gloves, and then when you sweat, it turns purple.
So his hands are...
every player on the team. Every player for practice.
Like
every
equipment. All over equipment.
Everywhere.
Like ruined equipment.
Carpet, ruined equipment. Stan lost his mind. Anyway, so do you have a tale for the road?
Tale for the road, like pranks. I mean, we used to do the in San Jose there was a ton of them where it was there's a few and usually was instigated by a couple guys, a couple of the same culprits, but we would basically it started as a simple thing. Like, guys would get in, whoever got the key first would steal a guy's key.
through the rooms.
Steal,
they're all
steal
just
his
in
key
there,
from the room, and he'd run upstairs with 2 guys, and they'd get into the room and they'd hide in the closet, and then the guy would come in. And they jump out and beat the wheels off him.
Like you're an adult. You're an adult.
You're an adult. And then
these are adults.
But then what? So they, you jump them and you would make them bleed, but you jump them and
scare the hell
guys would wrestle them and beat him. You'd beat him with pillows or whatever, like with belts. Anyway, but then what would happen is you'd then recruit that guy, and then we'd go to the next room. So then the next guy would go. The next guy would go, and he would knock on the door like, "Hey, I need. He got my toiletry bag." So we open the door, we jump that guy. And then it got to a point where it's like you're like the last guy was getting jumped by like 50 guys.
You're just carrying
and guys are like wrapping towels around their hand, and they're like in
fighting.
The hallway.
You're ready
like,
to go.
And then like the last guy was just getting it by everybody and just getting like.
And he knew it was coming.
So it's better to go early.
No, he wouldn't know because it'd always be like the next guy would have to set it up. And then it got to the point where like we had guys on the road that like the roommate needed like a secret knock. Like me and Tori Mitchell. Me and Tori Mitchell would mess with Ken Huskins and Vlasic. We'd try with Vlasic, but Tori Mitchell literally had a secret knock that he had to make it so that
or they wouldn't open the door.
Vlasic would open the door. Yeah, otherwise he wouldn't open it. He'd just leave it closed.
So we just got back. We just got back from Tootsie's. So we spent a week at the draft at Tootsie's, and I'm not assuming, but I would guess you've stepped inside Tootsie's once over the last 20 years.
I had a good story there, which is actually a couple good stories there, which is funny.
But that,
is that what? Oh,
no,
really
I'm just asking if you want to tell those stories if you can.
No,
I don't want to get anybody in trouble again.
No. I was with Colin White and who played for the Devils, and he was with us in San Jose near the end of his career, and neither of us were playing the next game, and I think he was hurt.
Oh no! In Nashville, on day off. Whoopsie.
But we had there's a game the next night, so he was like, "You're coming with me, kid. We're going to Tootsie's." And I'm like, "All right." And at that point, I was very much my whole career like I was a yes guy.
Yeah.
To say that I would rally the troops, maybe, but it was more I just guys want to go for dinner, and if it's something happened, but I was always taught like you're a man at night, you're a man in the morning.
Yep. And
then the other quote I always got was, if you want to hoot with the Owls at night, you got to soar with the Eagles in the morning. So I had never had a bad I don't think I ever had a bad practice. Never had a day where I missed. So I always kind of laughed, and a coach or whatnot would give me a hard time because I'd be like, I don't know, there's no proof. It was all hearsay.
Yeah.
They'd be like, I think he's here, but he's not. And I'm like, show me. So, and then obviously that was my stuff growing up. That was immaturity, because then, you never want to develop a reputation, something I tell the young kids too. And it took me, that was probably something that was my first 2 years of my career, but I do a ton of stuff off the ice to take care of myself. But then the reputation just grows, and then it got to the point where I remember being in Dallas, and if I had a bad game, I would get called in the room, and they'd ask me what I was doing the night before, and I'd be at home sleeping. I cook most of my meals. I eat like as fresh as I can, as clean as I can. But that's why I tell young kids, you don't want to develop a reputation, do everything you can to break it, because it
it'll stick with you.
Takes one day. But anyway, we're at Tootsie's. Back to the drinking story, the funny story. And Colin White's there, and if anybody knows him, he has like one of his vocal cords is messed up, so he talks like that, and he's a very raspy voice. So, and he's a big guy. He's also like missing one eye, like his one eye doesn't work because he got hit with a puck. So he's like yelling in the bar, and he loves country. So we're getting after it, and he's hammered, and he goes up and he goes to the guy that's working the stage, and at Tootsie's you give money and you write a song down.
Yep.
So he goes and gives the guy, he writes out a full set list, like 10 songs.
Yeah.
And he gives the guy $100 mid song.
Yeah.
And there's stuff on there that like nobody would even know in Tootsie's. It's like the most like backwater country music. Like, and the guy like stops the song mid set, and he's like, all right, everybody. He's like, I know there's a lot of requests, but he's like, some motherfucker just gave me $100 and a set list.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm gonna play every song on the set list.
No.
I don't know some of them, but he's like, I'll make it up. So and then there's so then now you have a full Tootsie's bar that usually they're requesting like well-known songs.
Yeah,
so these people are all held hostage
Garth Brooks,
to this
To
guy
songs they don't
playing like the most. I don't even know any of the names.
So you're not singing along.
Jennings, last name Jennings, so. And he's there like, he's playing the air guitar and he's singing. And I'm just like, I can't believe, I'm like sitting there and I'm like, I don't know any of this song, but he was having such a great time. So, and then I'm literally sitting there staring, and then I just get like a huge slap on my leg, and I look and it's the coach, the whole coaching staff. And I'm like 20, I think I'm like 24.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like,
uh-oh.
It's like kind of one of those like,
Yeah.
hey, how you doing? Like, what's going on? Like, what's going on?
There's nothing worse.
And then the funniest thing is, I'm holding it together. I've had a couple, but I'm still also gonna have to skate in the morning. So I'm sitting there and I'm just like, hey, how are you? And he's just staring at me. And then he gets a slap on the shoulder, and it's Colin White. He's like, what's up, coach?
Nothing to see here, coach.
Yeah, there's like the rule, the rule of, if people don't know, the rule of
the bar.
The rule of the bar on the road is if you were at the bar and the coach walks in, he has to leave. And
who's ever there first.
If you walk in and the coach is there, you got to leave.
Yep, who's ever there first.
Yeah, and we had that happen. We had that happen. So they left after. We had that happen in Dallas too with the coach. He walked in and it was like a dingy dive bar, and we were just sitting having a couple casuals playing. Because I like more going to play pool.
Yeah.
I like playing
darts,
pool. Love darts. Chopper John's in Arizona is one of the best spots to play darts.
Another ad.
Another ad.
Get that ad read in.
This is podcasting audition.
Yeah, I know.
Get the ad reads in.
Chopper John's for all you darts and beer need. No. So we were playing shuffleboard, and he walked in, and the coach was like, he was an ex-player, and he was like, God damn it, and he's like so mad that he had to leave. He's like, I gotta leave. He's like,
gotta go.
And he was like with his buddies, and his buddies like, why? He's like, we gotta go, and he's like, let's get out of here. So he's just. Then the next day, he's like, it's my favorite spot. He's like, please don't go there anymore. Yeah, that's the story.
Well, Craig's got. These are quick hitters now. These are just
okay.
It's a game.
We have a clock, don't we, Sean?
This is a game. These are quick hitters with a
So
timer.
we're gonna play a game of trivia.
God.
It's called How Well Do You Know Your Teammates?
Probably horrible because I talk a lot. And
I will give the answers at the end. Maybe you guys can jump in if you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, but we're gonna go quick hitters now.
15 You get 15 seconds for each question. That's it.
Okay.
So you let me know when you're ready, Sean, and we will roll through this.
Shoot.
I'll try and start with some that are a little more obvious. But okay. This former teammate has family members who have played in the AHL and or managed in the Swedish Hockey League. Who is it?
Managed in the Swedish Hockey League and on the Coyotes?
Yep.
Somebody I played
family
with?
members.
I
Who
think
have played in the AHL and or managed in the Swedish Hockey League.
So you got to go with a Swede.
Jarmelson?
I'd go with OEL.
You are
Because
correct.
his little
It is
brother
OEL.
played.
Yep.
Whoa.
All right. Second question.
Oh, his little brother. But
Yeah,
geez,
Kevin did.
Louise, Kevin.
This former
I love
teammate,
Kev.
KL.
this former teammate was born in Great Britain and is a diehard Manchester United fan.
Pellini.
Yep, that's
Hey,
right. Brendan Perlini.
ding, ding,
You didn't even need the
ding.
clock for that one. All
Got a
right.
great story for that. That's actually
This
funny.
former teammate does not like hot dogs, despite a popular narrative.
Philip the Thriller Castle.
See? All right. You're warming up now, buddy.
He hates them.
Yeah,
It's
that's the
hilarious.
funny thing. He doesn't,
The narrative
doesn't
is,
like hot
but
dogs at all.
no.
Okay, let's get to the next one here. This former teammate does like hot dogs, but he eats them with ketchup despite his birthplace. He was also infamous for bringing too few pairs of underwear on the road.
Stinky, Linky,
Stinky.
Christian Fisher. God, that's a good story, that underwear story. You have that story?
Got to pack light. You got to pack light,
That's-
JD.
Ready
that's
for the
one of
next question
That's one
here?
of the best
Pack light.
ones.
This
yeah,
one's
like
getting a
somebody
little.
hater,
This
yeah.
one's getting a little in the weeds. This former teammate used to drive 2.5 hours, crossing a border in the process, just to get to weekly practices and games as a teenager. This one's a little in the weeds.
Across two
As a
2.5
teenager.
hours across the border.
Cross a board. I'm not saying which board.
So you got a Canadian kid going to the States or an American kid going to Canada?
or a different border?
Yeah, but you wouldn't
God,
make that hard.
Jarmelson.
The answer is Nick Schmaltz.
Oh, Schmaltz. I was literally. Oh, why not? I
All right.
can't get it right. Oh, LJ Viper.
Ready?
Hey, you got to fix it from within, my man. You
You've
got
only
to fix
missed,
it from
you've
within.
only missed two
Hey,
so far.
we say it because we care. Drinking the haterade.
Oh my god! All right, this former
What's he-
teammate took lessons from an Olympic bronze medalist pairs figure skater.
Judas Priest, these questions.
What was that one?
Wait, I think I know this
Paris
one.
This
figure
former
skater.
teammate took lessons from an Olympic bronze medalist pairs figure
Why do I
skater.
know
Barrett
this?
Haight?
I don't know.
Keller? Not Keller either.
The answer is Connor Garland.
Yes, I remember
Oh,
that.
Mike
see,
Botticelli.
I don't
yep.
want to. I don't want to say Connor. I don't want to give him any
I
any
missed the
props.
hater stuff.
I love that guy. I don't want to give.
I missed the hater stuff, but I'm pretty sure JD hasn't sent his resume in to the Coyotes. Just a hunch.
No, no. I did tell Donor I was gonna apply when he was the GM, and
Yeah, whoops.
he left for some reason. So
You're
I
going to be
said-
okay, JD. You'll be fine.
I said I'll wait.
All right, this former teammate once found a dead snake under his refrigerator in Arizona.
Wow. These are tricky.
Can't believe you haven't heard this story.
Don't know
I
this
even
story.
wrote about this story, buddy, which shows that you don't read
We
my
don't read.
stories either, but that's okay.
I don't know. I apologize. Well, I got to pay the athletic fee. It's a lot. You know, I'm retired right now. Connaughton?
He had a good story, but this was Alex Goligoski who sat right next to
Goose?
him in the room. Yep.
I mean, Goose. Me and Goose talk about. He's talking about finances all day.
That's right.
Goose.
Yeah.
Goose. We're talking about trading cards or finances or the next hobby. He doesn't even. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he's never brought up the snake to me. But that's funny.
Yeah, finding more clients
I'm
for
not
Ben
like that's.
Hankinson.
I can admit I'm not great with like those.
The deep
those
dive
things.
things.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll keep going.
But,
here. You
but
guys
I'm gonna try to go 0 for 10 here or whatever. How many-
You've actually got a
I
bunch
got
of them.
one.
So, all right. This former teammate got engaged in Paris and signed a long-term contract with the Coyotes, all within the span of about a month.
Isn't that Lawson?
Yep.
Yes,
that's
it is.
Lawson
Ding,
Krause.
ding, the sheriff.
I'm going to that wedding.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll see you soon.
I'm sure
Nice.
Craig's trying to get an invite too.
You're never going to get this one because you don't read anything that I put out there. So this former teammate still holds the record for most views of a tweet of mine. Hint, the tweet was about his retirement.
This former teammate still holds the record for the most views of a tweet of mine. I don't understand the question.
No, wait. So
I put out a tweet announcing the retirement of a player, and
And
still has the most views of any
you got to
tweet I've ever
restart
put out.
this because it can't. To explain the question 15
I know.
seconds, I have no time to answer.
I know.
Yeah, okay, so we get a new shot
So
clock.
you did a tweet about a player that
Retiring.
and that's your most viewed tweet of all time.
all time. Crazy it is.
So it's somebody that I didn't play with. Then.
It is someone you played with.
Oh, so I played with him.
Well,
I
who
did
would have
say-
a big retirement here in Arizona?
Jarmy.
There it is. It's Nicholas Yalmerson. That is the answer.
He's
I love that
guessed him
guy.
on three others, so he finally
eventually
got
got
one.
me.
question.
Last I looked
I
at
said
like,
Jarmy about 6'6". Jarmy.
yeah, last I looked at like 2.2 million views. It was crazy.
Really?
So the question was
Look.
really about you.
Good.
It wasn't
you know,
really about
I mean,
Hammer.
as
Of
you've
all the things
learned,
Hammer did in his
everything on
career,
the show is about
JD,
me, Petey.
all the things he did in his career, block shots, win Stanley Cups. We ask a question about how many times Craig's tweet got viewed.
All
To
right.
bring up Hammer.
On
he
October
does bring it
9th,
back to him.
Yeah, it does. Or he
I
wrote
gotta-
about it.
and it's
I was with Jarmelson. We went to Rise Against. It's one of his favorite bands.
Yeah.
Oh.
We saw him here. He was in town and he asked me if I wanted to go. So we went when he retired. And the guy dedicated Swing Life Away to him and gave him like a huge
No
speech.
way.
I was like,
Nice.
Jesus.
Oh, tear up.
wow.
yeah,
That's
it's
great.
great.
Awesome.
Really cool.
Got three
dude.
left?
Good dude. 3 left. On October 9, 2010, this former teammate became the 4th player in NHL history to score a hat trick in his NHL debut.
It's in 2010.
Yep.
Scored a hat trick in his NHL debut, and I played with him.
You played with him?
Domes didn't start in 2010, no? Dookie, no, Dookie.
It took him a lifetime. Don't took a lifetime to get his first hat trick. The answer is Derek Stepan.
Wow.
I didn't know
The
that.
step.
Wow.
Yep. All right, bonus round. Here we go.
Still greasing his way through the legal
This
step.
is not
Unbelievable.
necessarily a former teammate.
Manager.
So
He's a manager.
I'm calling your
Manages.
attention to this.
Coach, player,
He's-
coach, Derek Stepan.
Player, man.
Yeah,
Coach, manager, player.
brings a whistle to practice.
Yeah.
All right, this guy's not a former teammate, but you know him. When not wearing his dental implants, this former Coyote and continued Valley resident has even fewer upper teeth than you.
Fewer upper teeth than me.
Pete, do you get this one?
I don't know. And resident?
Yep.
The Biz?
Nope.
No, not Biz.
I don't know.
The answer
No,
is
not Rick.
Zbynek McCulloch. He
Really?
used to call him his chompers because he'd come without him. He'd literally
I
come
don't know if
without
I've
his
ever seen him
entire
without his teeth.
top.
I played men's league with him, and it's funny. I didn't even notice that. Did he?
Yeah.
Did he fix him? I never know.
Yeah, he's got implants, but
I never
Yeah.
knew.
he used
Oh, I
to
didn't know
used
that.
to come to media interviews without him, and
He
literally
is-
You
He
didn't
is
play
quite
with him?
possibly.
You didn't play
No,
with
I
him?
didn't play with him.
Wow,
No.
they never overlapped, huh? In my
I-
mind, you all played together.
He quite possibly is the best player to watch in men's league of all time.
Oh, my
Why is
God.
that? Is that
Oh,
good
he's-
still?
Unbelievable. He goes so hard, takes full slap shots,
Unbelievably
and
fit.
he does
kid,
not
too.
let any of these guys. Doesn't matter if it's a 60-year-old guy. There's nobody beating him wide.
I love that.
It's so funny. I love it actually.
All right,
This
last
is it?
question.
Last one?
Last question. This former teammate played in the Quebec Pee Wee tournament for the Quint Red Devils and was the 10th overall pick in the 2001 OHL priority selection by the Owen Sound Attack.
What?
That is
These
so
questions
in the
are like
weeds.
That's
Owen
like bizarre.
Come on, buddy.
Devo,
No.
2001.
2001. Oh, 2001.
So
Oh,
it's gotta
sorry.
be- Jeez.
It's Marty, Richie.
It's Richie.
It's Richie.
Richie.
Got it, yeah.
It's your guy,
Wow.
Richie. It's your guy, Richie.
Wow.
You played in Quint.
Yeah.
Love that.
There you
Wow.
have it.
Where's
So-
Quint? Oh no, it's Quint. Where the
I don't know where it is.
It's Quint,
Where the hell
right?
is Quint?
Hey, buddy, don't
Wow,
ask
that
me.
was a tough game,
If
Craig.
it's in Minnesota, I know it. Other than that, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
There's
That
a
is
lot.
the
yeah,
first edition
I
of
have a
How Well
feeling
Do You
because
Know Your
this show
Teammates?
is we've gone over already,
Yeah.
and Leah still has a little bit of work left to do. We're gonna have to do this again.
Yeah, I know, because
Sure.
you alluded
'Cause I
to
wanna
so
tell the
many
story-
stories just in the trivia
I wanna tell
section.
the story
What
where
I
we
want to
dialed.
know from our viewers is how well do you think JD auditioned for Petey's job?
Hey,
God damn.
I would if you're looking for somebody to do UFC.
Yes.
Yeah, Sean and
Sean
Shane.
could do the show.
can-
We
yeah,
could
they
have
Do
you
do.
just-
Sean and Shane. Shane's
Did
not
you
here
just
right now. He's
watch
in Vegas.
one of my stories? I went there and I
Yeah.
did me and the Graham McPhee, George McPhee's son. He played with him in Bakersfield, and we're kind of starting just to do like a betting picks, something quick, and
There you go.
Yeah, so we have a daily
Get 'em
bet
on
show
bets.
that's going to be in about 20 minutes here every single day, and Sean and our other bets host Shane.
So next
they're
time we do a
into
UFC,
so
next
we'll
time we do
have
a
JD
UFC
call
bet
in.
show.
on my Twitter, I
Call him in.
picked. I was pretty good. I said Volk, Pantoja, Simon Petrino in a parlay, and then. Oh, did you? I
So
was good.
we
I did
do
good.
before the big fights. We do it on our bet show. You should call in and be our bets guy when we do the
for
UFC bets.
UFC.
Sure. I mean, I live close too.
Yeah,
Oh,
come
we,
on
and we
down.
can always call
It's
in.
nice to hang in here.
Yeah, Dan said definitely bring JD back,
Don't
but
get
not for
comfortable in here.
Petey's job, Dan
No,
said.
don't get-
I like Pete.
Don't
Charles
get
said-
comfortable here.
yeah,
We're gonna tell a story about
bring
you.
a sense
Vegas.
you back.
You bring a sense of gravitas. You're very,
Oh.
you're very like the
Is-
Godfather.
He's going to look up that word when you leave.
I used it correctly. right?
Multisyllabic. Yeah,
I did.
I'm Craig. I went to college. I got that. But we actually have a story. Well, someday we'll tell the one in Vegas where we dialed you into the TV and you read the lineup in the TV in Vegas locker
Yeah.
room because you didn't actually travel with teams.
Yeah.
You were hurt, and you got to read that. And that's the kind of guy he was in the locker room.
Brady,
So we'll tell the story.
Brady
another time.
says spin-off series JD and Petey story.
Oh,
I
so
think-
now Craig's good.
Yeah, Craig's got the boot. I don't have a problem with that.
I got the boot too.
Where's
It's all good.
Where's JT Viper? Where's he at? I'm not gonna sleep tonight. Oh, LJ Viper. You gotta watch it. It's not me. It's my father sees that.
I know. It's hard
He's
though
on
when
the
you do
forums.
this. It turns out not everybody likes things you do on the internet.
It's
We-
weird.
yeah, it is.
It's
Like, they
weird
hate
how
you.
it's weird how
Literally
people,
hate you.
Oh yeah.
I said something
Yeah,
about
but that's
Toronto last
keyboard
week.
warriors.
Oh, yeah.
I went something on Toronto last week hard. Like I said something about the Leafs. Don't do that.
Don't do
I
that.
mean, the
It got
Leafs
really
The
personal.
Leafs are their own bag
Yeah,
of
it was
bag
bad.
of- bag of issues
It was
there.
bad. Leah,
Yeah.
you know what we
Don't sign
solve that?
Tavares. That's what you gotta do.
4 peaks would solve that.
Well, I
Take
was just
Tavares
saying
too much.
another good reason for this gig is that
Set the precedent.
we do have our fridge full of 4 Peaks beer, one of the many perks of coming into this office. But are you just leaving? Oh,
Hey, I got a
He's leaving
good
the show.
back. I got a good back person for you.
jeez. All right, 4 Peaks. We love 4 Peaks. Obviously, you can buy 4 Peaks wherever you buy beer here in Arizona. They're on tap pretty much everywhere. And of course, check out the H Street Pub. Petey's cracking open a wow right now. You can check
Limping.
out at 4 Peaks Brew or at 4 Peaks
Yeah.
Pub to keep up with the latest in Arizona's hometown brewery. Must be 21 or older
we're
to
just
drink 4
talking.
Peaks, and please drink
Okay.
responsibly. This is what you get at PHNX. Gotta love it.
Work.
This
Oh.
is great for you're dialed in.
We're
like
well, this is classic because I'm always the one keeping us on the rails. So that's
you need
my
to-
role
Jason
here.
Rudy right now. You could have a beer at work.
Yeah.
Can you say that?
He did. I mean,
You
he has quite a few at work at this point. He must be on the straight liquor now. At this point.
Yeah, just
Oh
No
boy.
offense,
gave
no
up.
dig
He
it,
just
no
gave
dig
up.
You
it.
know, you mentioned that you don't read Craig's stories, but most of his stories are actually free to read at gophnx.com, so you can keep up with his.
Not sure
his
that's going to
articles.
convince him. So
Yeah, they are free to
Yeah.
read, but there is a story a week that's for diehards only. A lot of people in our chat
like
today
books on tape. Craig's article
are
is books on tape.
diehards. Join our family. Grab yourself a shirt from the PHNXlocker.com. You grab your membership, get a free shirt or hat when you sign up. Get access to our Discord, which has been a blast lately. So many new faces in there. We've been loving it. And you also get 20% off on all events and merchandise. So become a diehard today. Join the family. Anything else, you guys? I mean, we could probably go for like another hour.
But this
but-
would inspire me to do. I think we need to do another one that it's just the fun stuff, and because there are a lot of fun things.
We love the Coyotes, and that's why we say these things, because we care.
It's true.
And we also hate them, but we can I'm just kidding.
And we also-
I'm kidding.
No.
I mean, they need. I mean, I thought my tweet about hate the Taylor was going to be a little bit better. That was. We can't have that.
The Taylor.
yeah,
They better have A5 Wagyu every day for lunch after practice. If all those guys are rocking a suit and a belt, custom belt, it's like $2,000 a suit. It's expensive.
Were you on the team when the players got custom jackets? Did you get a custom jacket?
I swear to God, we sold our house, and I was looking through my
You
closet,
did not get one of the jackets.
and I did, and I have it. It wasn't even tailored the right way.
Terrible.
It was like that.
Is it true? And there was a tailor that flew with the team. No
Yeah,
joke.
yeah.
Oh,
And they take players and they measure players during flights
I know.
No way.
for a custom-made
But-
Christmas present.
Well, it was nice. Where was it? Where Connaughton wore it once? It was like to a team party. Remember, he wore it. He wore it like it was like a
That's
team party. He
unreal.
just rocked it
With the logo.
with
Logo
the
on the
logo.
breast, yeah.
No, but I was like, what do I do with this? And my girlfriend's like, you can't get rid of that. She's like, you got to keep
You got
that.
to keep it.
And I was like, all right, we're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep rocking it.
Yeah.
But yeah, was
Bring it
really-
in. We can hang it on the hanger behind
We
us
got a
here.
bathrobe too once, didn't we?
I didn't, but the players did. It was like a boxing robe. It was.
Yeah, we got a boxing robe.
That was
and
very nice.
Yeah,
Some of the
Oh,
things
man.
that get gifted to players are interesting.
It's-
We'll go through the best and worst gifts.
when do you get these gifts?
That's
Like
amazing.
start of season, end of the season? How's that? All
I
work?
don't know. It's
That was Christmas.
Christmas.
the
okay.
Christmas.
It's like the Christmas gift where like guys are more like. Yeah,
But get Christmas gifts that
don't
at
even
least they
know
can
why.
re-gift. Like give them an
That's- it
iPad.
all goes to my
or-
dad. It goes to
yeah,
my dad.
they give them away, so make it nice enough to give them away. Like the coat, custom-made coat with a Coyote logo on it. First, where are you going to wear that? Like you're not taking it to Old Town? Well, somebody might have, but
we could have. Yeah.
could have.
No, but like the robe, I think I gave to my dad, and then like the clothing, and then he burned all of it 2 years ago, and then
So I'll tell my story someday too. But what
Yeah,
happened
we
to all my
definitely
clothing.
need another.
That'd be a
No.
clearing.
Just another
no,
hour.
we
for
we
stories.
kept some. I mean, it's
Yeah.
part of life.
We
It is
could
what it
have,
is.
like, it could be an entire show. We could just have
Yeah.
like a
Yeah,
bonfire.
well,
on set and
Dan
just-
said wear the jacket next time you're on the show. So,
Buddy, I
that-
wish I
Hey.
had one.
You know what I say about our situation? It's not the first time, and it won't be the last time. But there's a million good stories
Yeah,
also. So
Yep.
we were just on the wrong end of one. So
I'm blessed. It took me a long
That's
time
what
to
it
turn
is.
that frown upside down. And part of the person we named, and we talk about him a lot on the show here, is Shane Doan. I was really
Jesus.
down. I had a really hard time after this because I put in 23 years of my life here, and Shane Doan dug me out of the hole, and it was like, hey, there's happiness here, and boy,
and now
Boy,
you're
howdy.
drinking a beer at work.
and I'm drinking a beer at work at
Hey,
11, and
don't
yeah.
look at it as half full or half empty. Just drink the water.
I
There's
love
water
it.
in the cup.
Okay.
Man, well, on that note,
That was good. I've been waiting to use that one.
God, you should be a coach or a motivational speaker.
oh man,
Oh,
all
then
right.
trust me, it's something I've rolled down. There is a lot of cards on the table right now.
Oh man, all
So,
right.
which is a good thing.
Well, thank you so much for your
Sorry, I
time. This has
apologize.
been awesome. Everyone in the chat, thank you for your comments. Hit the like button.
Keeps giving the players. And stuff. I'm sorry. I'll go
Oh
ahead.
no, you're good.
I'm like more interested. I was like trying to talk, and then you're seeing the things pop
I
up.
know, it's a lot
I don't
going on.
get distracted. I don't look anymore. I don't even
Yeah.
bother because I
It's
can't
true.
keep up.
You
Craig
kinda-
can't even see.
You're
so.
like, am I
If I don't put on my
doing
glasses,
good? You're
I
like,
can't
am I
read
doing
them,
good?
I know,
Oh,
and I
shit.
can't do it
The
anymore.
LJ Viper got me.
I know. Buddy, you get hate on here. But I'm telling you, there's hate.
Brady W is pretty. He's nice.
Yeah, no, these are our regulars, our
Brady's
diehards.
in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Too. He's not
KC?
lived in Hungary.
Yeah.
Go Chiefs. How about that Jackson Mahomes?
Don't even get started because our Michaela, who's our social media manager, took on the
don't know.
Kansas City
Yeah, and
fans
that's a
on
bad
Twitter.
fan base to get
Yeah, it
after
didn't
too.
go well.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You
attacked her.
you can't. Listen, you got to give Jackson Mahomes away. He stinks.
Trade him.
All right.
Stinks.
Oh, man. Well, we're here every day, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. So subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss when we go live. We're also wherever you listen to your podcast. So be sure to follow along there as well. And you can follow all of us on Twitter at Craig S. Morgan, at Leah Merrill, at SP Tataki, at Sean_DePaz. Where can the people follow you? At Jason Demers 5?
I think, I'm on Twitter and Instagram. I don't know what my handle is, but
That's it.
See,
at Jason Demers 5, yeah.
Yeah, if you're it's what's one thing you should know if you're getting into the media thing. We talked about marketing.
I know you
buddy.
have to be.
Yeah.
You got to market yourself.
I
I
had
know,
2 followers when I started this. My son and his buddy.
Really?
Yeah, I have more than that now.
What do you have now?
I don't know. It's approaching. I'm over 1,700.
He's trying to get
I'm not
to
like-
get
I'm not like
2,000
you,
before the
but-
season starts.
I'll give you a tag. Post me on
There you go.
Instagram and all. I think I might have been banned on Twitter. Shadow banned on Twitter. I went after Ghislaine Maxwell and I got it anyway.
Anyway,
that's a different.
and of
That's
course,
a different one.
and of
A
course,
different one.
and of course,
I
you
swear to
can
God, I reposted.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I get 1 like on all my things. I think I'm banned.
Yeah, that could be it.
And of course, you can follow the show at PHNX_Coyotes. This has been a lot of fun. Thanks again, and everybody enjoy the rest of your Monday. And we will see you all tomorrow.